well Homes. We've been involved in Super Home tour since 2016, and it's been a great involvement. It's kind of opening your eyes to building back better, smarter. I think Bob's had a big influence on the changes that get implemented with the councils. I even think, looking at the costs, because the costs are coming into it now because there's been a huge increase in costs of building in the last 18 months. But then you look at the scenario of building a house, and I think what the needs are in putting in a house, such as like underfloor heating. Underfloor heating can be installed, the pipes can go in, and then retrospectively you can get it hooked up later on if you couldn't afford the whole thing. So it's kind of looking at ways that you can build without it completely blowing the budget, because the budget seems to be the big thing these days. I mean, houses have gone up from an average square metre rate from $2,500 to about $4,000 in the last 18 months. It's a lot of money. I mean, we just submitted a price to clients last week, and as I was telling them the price, I was almost feeling quite nauseous, and it's become so expensive. But then you got to peel all that back to if you go for thicker walls, you have greater insulation. You have insulation, the MatchShaft system, which is a fantastic system. Obviously, increasing your insulation in the roof space, going for better windows, thermal broken windows, and putting all that into the house, and then looking at the additional cost of that compared to your standard house. It's got to be worth spending the money on that, because at the end of the day, you've got to kind of look at the lifespan of the house, and I still can't get over the councils where they say 50 years is the life expectancy of a house. I mean, that's just a ridiculous thing, 50 years, and then the actual materials. A lot of the cladding and materials are like a 15-year guarantee, 15 years. So I think looking at the actual building of the houses, it's much better putting in the time, the effort, and the cost and the money into certain elements of the house. Not everybody's obviously going to go for like a $6,000 to $8,000 kitchen or tile all the bathrooms, all that stuff, but you can still manage that side of things. And I just feel that it should be standard. And I know that the councils are changing the rules, and they're hoping to implement. I can't believe that the council have asked for changes, but they're still happy with the 19 stud, with the 2.8.
Crazy, eh?
I mean, why wouldn't you want to? If you're putting these windows in, and you're still doing a 90 stud, where's the sense in that? And also, if you're using bigger elements for glass and things, you need a certain thickness there. So you need the windows to be 140. Sorry, you need the frames to be 140 or 180, so that you can install it without it coming into the room. So, and then as you say, putting the window in the middle of the wall, it's really sort of implementing these things. We found on the tour was great that we were involved with this year, because there's a lot of people interested who were asking the questions about what you've done to improve the house. And I think it comes down to the bills. At the end of the day, after you've been in the house for a year, I mean, a house takes time to dry out and everything else. But once you've been in the house for a year and your bills have been halved or whatever, or even less than that, it's got to be worth investing in that. So I think we're on a journey here, but I do think the journey has to be sped up a little bit, because it's the delays. I mean, the delay in the councils making a call. I mean, it's meant to be this year, it's next year. It's how far does it take? Does it go down the line? I mean, if you go to some of these places like Sweden, Norway, where it's really cold, this isn't a cold country compared to these places. And we get a lot of sunshine here, winter and summer. It's just worthwhile looking at things, but trying to put a cost against it that it's not ridiculous. Because if you're frightening people away from building, then where do you go? Tents and other things. I don't know.
Thanks, Brian.
Yes.